Picture this. You've lovingly tended your cucumber plants for weeks, watching them grow strong and vibrant in your garden. Then one morning, disaster strikes. You walk outside to find yellowing leaves, wilted stems, or worse, your once promising plants looking like they're on their last leg. Before you reach for that shovel and resign yourself to starting over, take a deep breath. What if I told you that most cucumber crises can be turned around with the right knowledge and quick action? Your established plants aren't doomed, and with the strategies I'm about to share, you can transform your struggling cucumbers into the productive powerhouses they were meant to be. Immediate rescue. Identifying the problem. When your cucumber plants are in distress, time is your most valuable ally. The difference between a plant that recovers beautifully and one that continues its downward spiral often comes down to how quickly you can identify and address the underlying issue. Start by conducting a thorough visual inspection of your plants, examining them from top to bottom with the keen eye of a detective. Look closely at the leaves first, as they're often your best indicator of what's going wrong. Yellowing that starts from the bottom and works its way up typically signals natural aging or nitrogen deficiency, while yellowing that appears in patches or affects newer growth might indicate disease or pest damage. Wilting during the heat of the day isn't always cause for alarm, but if your plants remain droopy in the early morning or evening when temperatures are cooler, you're dealing with a more serious issue. Don't forget to examine the stems and the base of your plants. Dark spots, unusual growths, or areas that appear water-soaked can indicate fungal infections that need immediate attention. Check the undersides of leaves too. This is where many pests like to hide, and where early signs of disease often first appear. The goal here isn't to become overwhelmed by every imperfection, but rather to gather enough information to make an informed diagnosis and take targeted action. The root of the matter, honestly, is soil and water woes. More often than not, the source of your cucumber crisis lies beneath the surface in the root zone. Cucumbers are particularly sensitive to both overwatering and underwatering, and getting this balance right is crucial for their recovery. Start by checking soil moisture levels about 2 to 3 inches down from the surface. If the soil feels bone dry at this depth, your plants are likely suffering from drought stress. Conversely, if the soil feels soggy or has a sour smell, you're dealing with waterlogged conditions that can quickly lead to root rot. Pest Patrol evicting unwanted guests. Cucumber plants can attract a rogues gallery of pests, and when they're already established, removing these unwanted visitors requires a strategic approach. Aphids are among the most common culprits, appearing as small green or black insects clustered on new growth in the undersides of leaves. These tiny vampires suck plant juices and can quickly weaken your cucumbers while spreading viral diseases. Spider mites create fine webbing on leaves and cause stippled, bronze-colored damage that can be mistaken for drought stress. Cucumber beetles are particularly problematic because they not only feed on leaves and fruits but also transmit bacterial wilt, a serious disease that can kill your plants. These yellow and black striped or spotted beetles are often found on flowers and young fruits. The key to effective pest control on established plants is, honestly, using methods that work quickly without harming the beneficial insects in your garden. Neem oil serves as both an insecticide and fungicide, disrupting pest life cycles while being relatively safe for pollinators when applied in the evening. Insecticidal soap can knock down soft-bodied pests like aphids and spider mites on contact, and it breaks down quickly in the environment. Fungal diseases can turn a thriving cucumber patch into a disaster zone seemingly overnight. But catching these problems early gives you the best chance of saving your established plants. Treatment of established plants requires a multi-pronged approach that combines immediate intervention with environmental modifications. A baking soda spray made from 1 tablespoon of baking soda per gallon of water can help control powdery mildew and prevent its spread. Copper-based fungicides offer broader spectrum control, but should be used judiciously to avoid building up toxic levels in your soil. So, The most important long-term strategy here involves improving air circulation around your plants through selective pruning and, making sure there's adequate spacing. Remove any infected plant material right away, but be careful not to compost it. Just bag it up and toss it in your regular trash to prevent reinfection. Harvest hope, nurturing for future success. Once you've taken care of the immediate crisis affecting your cucumber plants, the focus really shifts to supporting their recovery and optimizing conditions for continued productivity. Plants that have been stressed definitely need some extra nutritional support to rebuild their strength and get back to vigorous growth. It's important to pay particular attention to consistent watering practices, since stressed plants are even more sensitive to fluctuations in soil moisture. Cucumbers need about 1 to 2 inches of water per week, delivered deeply and evenly. Hey, don't underestimate the power of mulching during the recovery phase. A 3-inch layer of organic mulch, really helps regulate soil temperature, retains moisture, suppresses weeds that compete for nutrients, and, over time, breaks down to improve soil structure. As your plants recover and start producing new growth, it's important to keep up with harvesting mature cucumbers regularly. This encourages continued fruit production and, honestly, prevents the plant from putting all its energy into seed development. Make sure to monitor your plants closely during this recovery period, watching for signs that your interventions are actually working. New growth should look healthy and vigorous, and those previously affected areas really ought to stop spreading or getting worse. This is also an excellent time to implement preventive measures for next season, such as planning for better spacing, improving soil drainage, or maybe even selecting disease-resistant varieties. The crisis you've just navigated isn't just a setback. It's actually a really valuable learning opportunity that will make you a better gardener. Each challenge teaches you more about reading your plant's signals and responding appropriately, building the intuition and knowledge that separates successful gardeners from those who struggle season after season. Remember, gardening is as much about problem solving as it is about planting seeds. The satisfaction of nursing a struggling plant back to health and watching it produce an abundant harvest is honestly one of the greatest rewards our hobby has to offer. If this guide helped save your cucumber plants and get your garden back on track, make sure to subscribe to Smart Garden for more practical solutions to real gardening challenges. Share this video with fellow gardeners who might be facing their own cucumber crisis. Together, we can all grow more successful, productive gardens. What other garden emergencies would you like us to tackle next? Let us know in the comments below.